That bare spot in your lawn is not unlucky. It is failing an interview. If you have spread seed there more than once, while the grass 2 feet away keeps growing, the problem probably is not just the seed bag. That patch is telling you something about the site, the soil surface, the water, the timing, the traffic, or the type of grass you are asking to grow there. Here is the first question to ask. Did the seed never sprout, or did it sprout and disappear? Those are 2 different failures. Seed that never germinates usually had poor soil contact, dried out, washed away, or got eaten. Tiny seedlings that appear and then die usually ran into heat, drought, shade, compaction, disease, or mowing too soon. So before you buy another bag, interrogate the spot. In this video, we will check the 5 reasons grass seed never gets hired by your lawn. Before you reseed, decide what kind of failure you are looking at. A brown patch is not always a dead patch, and treating it like bare dirt can make you tear out grass that was still alive. During drought or heat, many grasses go dormant. The blades turn tan, but the crown at the base of the plant and the roots can still be alive. Kneel down and gently tug on the turf. If it holds firmly and you see pale, solid crowns near the soil surface, that grass may recover with better moisture and cooler weather. If it lifts like a loose wig with dry crowns and dead roots, that area is no longer living turf. Now look closer at the soil. If you seeded the spot and never saw a single green hair, you are dealing with a germination problem. That points you towards seed-to-soil contact, watering frequency, washout, birds, old seed, or timing. If the spot sprouted, looked hopeful for a week, and then vanished, that is a seedling survival problem. Young grass has tiny roots, so one hot afternoon, one missed watering, heavy foot traffic, disease, insects, or mowing too low can erase it fast. There is also a third category. The old turf is struggling, not the new seed. Thin grass around the spot, shallow roots, moss, hard soil, or recurring brown edges suggest a turf health problem. In that case, seed is only part of the repair. The 5 reasons coming next are not equally likely in every yard. A shady, cool season lawn in spring fails differently than a warm season lawn in midsummer. Your region, grass type, and season decide which cause belongs at the top of your list. Grass seed does not grow just because it landed in the bare spot. It has to touch loose soil. If it is sprinkled over matted dead grass, old thatch, fallen leaves, or a hard crust, it is not planted. It is sitting on top like expensive bird food. This is the most common failure in small lawn repairs because the spot looks bare from standing height. Up close, it may be covered with brown grass blades pressed flat against the ground. Seed can get trapped in that layer, dry out in the sun, wash to one edge during watering, or get eaten before it ever sends a root into the soil. Do a quick contact test before you spread anything. Scratch the spot with your fingers, a hand rake or a garden rake. If you pull up dead grass, leaves, or a springy layer of thatch before you reach dirt, the seed would have been floating above the soil. If the surface is so crusted that your rake skates over it, the seed will sit on top there too. The fix is simple, but it has to happen before seeding. Remove the matted debris until you can see soil. You do not need to dig a hole or tear up healthy turf around the edge. Just clear the dead material and loosen the top quarter-inch of soil so the surface becomes crumbly instead of sealed. Then spread the seed evenly across the spot. Do not pour it into a thick pile because crowded seedlings compete with each other and many will die. After spreading, lightly rake the seed into the loosened surface. The goal is shallow contact, not burial. Most grass seed only needs a thin cover, so if you cannot see any seed at all, you may have raked too aggressively. Finish by pressing the area down with your foot, a lawn roller, or a flat board. That firm contact helps the seed stay in place and keeps moisture around it when you water. At that point, the seed is actually planted. But even perfectly tucked in seed can still fail if the surface dries out at the wrong hour. And that is the next mistake to check. Fresh grass seed does not need one heroic soaking. It needs the top layer of soil to stay consistently moist until the seed germinates and the tiny roots begin to anchor. That is where many bare spot repairs fail. The area gets watered heavily on day 1, looks nice and dark, and then the surface dries out by afternoon. To an established lawn, that might be a normal watering pattern. To new seed, it is a stop and start signal that can delay germination or kill the seedling right after it cracks open. The important word is surface. Grass seed is sitting in the top slice of soil, not several inches down with mature roots. If you water deeply but not often enough, the lower soil may be damp while the seed zone turns dry and dusty. From above, the repair may look like it was watered. At seed level, it just took one drink and then went on a desert vacation. For new seed, the goal is light, frequent watering that keeps the surface moist without creating puddles or washing seed into a pile. In warm, sunny, or windy weather, that may mean more than one short watering in a day. In cool, cloudy weather, it may mean less. The schedule is not the goal. Moist soil at the seed is the goal. You can check this in 5 seconds. Press a finger into the repaired spot. If the very top feels dry, crusty, or powdery, the seed is not getting the moisture pattern it needs. If it is soggy and your finger comes up muddy, you are going too far. You want damp, not flooded. Also check whether your sprinklers are actually covering the spot evenly. Place a few straight-sided cans, like tuna cans or small food cans, around the repaired area and run the sprinkler. If one can fills much higher than another, your watering is uneven. A bare patch near the edge of a sprinkler pattern may be getting far less water than the healthy lawn around it. Once the surrounding grass is established, deeper and less frequent watering is usually better, adjusted for your soil, rainfall, grass type, and local watering rules. That trains mature roots to grow deeper. But new seed is not mature turf yet, so do not water it like it already has roots. Early morning is usually the best watering window because the soil gets moisture before the day heats up. Avoid leaving grass wet for long periods overnight if lawn disease is a problem in your area. Keep the seed zone moist, watch the surface, and adjust based on what the soil is doing, not what the calendar says. Grass seed can fail even when the soil is prepared and the watering is perfect, because the lawn is simply not in its growing season. Grass types do not all wake up at the same time. Cool season lawns, common across much of the north, grow best when temperatures are moderate. That group includes Kentucky bluegrass, tall fescue, perennial ryegrass, and fine fescue. For those lawns, seeding is usually most reliable in late summer to early fall, when the soil is still warm enough for germination, but the worst heat stress is fading. Spring seeding can work for cool season grass in some situations, but it often has more obstacles. The new seedlings may be trying to establish right before summer heat. Drought pressure, foot traffic, and weed competition all increase. That is why a bare spot seeded in April may sprout, then disappear by July. Warm season lawns follow a different calendar. In much of the south, grasses like Bermuda grass, zoysia grass, and centipede grass are normally established after active growth begins, often in late spring or early summer. They need warm soil and warm nights to grow aggressively. If you seed or repair them while they are still dormant, you may be staring at the ground for weeks with nothing happening. St. Augustine grass is a special case because it is usually repaired with sod, plugs, or sprigs rather than ordinary seed. It still follows the same basic seasonal logic. Repairs work best when the grass is actively growing, not when it is shut down for cold weather. If you live in the transition zone, do not follow a calendar until you know what grass you have. That middle band of the country can contain cool season turf, warm season turf, or a mix. A good seeding window for tall fescue can be the wrong window for Bermuda grass in the same general region. There is one more timing trap: pre-emergent herbicide. Products used to prevent crabgrass and other weeds can also prevent desirable grass seed from establishing. Do not rely on a universal waiting period. Read the product label and check your local university extension recommendations, because the timing depends on the herbicide, the grass type, and your local climate. Seed during the lawn's active establishment window, not just when the bare spot annoys you. Some bare spots never fill in because the seed is not there long enough to germinate. Birds can absolutely take some seed. especially when it is sitting uncovered on top of the soil. If you have ever watched sparrows work across a fresh repair, you know they are not just visiting, but birds usually get blamed for more than they actually do. A lot of seed disappears because water, wind, and gravity move it before it has a chance to anchor. The easiest clue shows up after watering or rain. Look along the sidewalk edge, the driveway, the gutter, the lowest side of the patch, or the bottom of a slope. If you see seed collected in a little line or pile, the problem is not germination. The seed left the bare spot and gathered somewhere else. This happens fast when seed is scattered onto hard, smooth soil. Water beads up, starts moving across the surface, and the seed floats with it. On a slope, even gentle watering can carry seed downhill. Near pavement, runoff can drag seed out of the lawn and strand it where roots cannot survive. Wind can do the same thing when seed is dry and exposed, especially with lighter grass seed and loose straw that was never tucked down. The fix is to make the seed hard to move. Rake the surface lightly so the soil is loosened, spread the seed evenly, then press it into the soil with your foot, the back of a rake, or a lawn roller if the area is larger. You are not burying it deeply. You are creating firm seed-to-soil contact so moisture can reach it and runoff cannot lift it away as easily. Then protect the repair with a thin, appropriate cover. A light layer of clean straw, peat-free lawn mulch, compost screened very fine, or an erosion control blanket can reduce bird feeding, slow water, and keep the surface from crusting. The cover should still let light and air through. A thick blanket of mulch can smother seedlings before they emerge. Water with a soft spray, not a blasting stream. The goal is damp soil, not moving water. If puddles form or seed starts drifting, the watering is too aggressive. And if the seed stays put, sprouts, and still fades out, the next failure may be even less obvious. The seed may not have had the right resume for that lawn in the first place. The seed bag can be fresh, expensive, and spread perfectly, and still be the wrong hire for the job. Think of that bare spot like a job opening. Before the seed gets hired, it needs to answer a few questions. Can you handle this region? Can you live with this much sun? Can you survive the foot traffic? Can you work with the watering schedule this lawn actually gets, not the one printed on the bag? And will you blend with the grass that is already there? Region is the first interview question. In northern lawns, cool season grasses like Kentucky bluegrass, perennial ryegrass, and tall fescue are usually the main options, often sold as blends. In southern lawns, many common grasses are warm season types, and some are not usually repaired from seed in the way homeowners expect. St. Augustine grass, for example, is typically patched with plugs, sod, or other vegetative material, not a standard seed repair. The transition zone makes this even trickier, because both heat and cold can punish the wrong choice. If you live in that middle band of the country, identify your existing turf before buying seed. A random bag labeled sun and shade mix may germinate, then fail when summer heat, winter cold, or disease pressure shows up. Sunlight is the next filter. A full sun seed mix placed under trees may sprout thin and weak, then vanish as the canopy fills in. Some cool season lawns can use fine fescue or shade-tolerant mixes in lighter shade, but heavy shade under mature trees is not just a light problem. Tree roots compete for water and nutrients, and conventional turf may never become dense there. Traffic matters too. A delicate mix in a dog path, kids' play area, or shortcut to the driveway is being asked to do the wrong job. Those areas may need a tougher turf type, stepping stones, mulch, or a redesigned path instead of another round of seed. If this is helping you diagnose the patch instead of just reseeding it again, subscribe now. The next mistake is one homeowners often miss because the grass seed gets blamed even when the bare spot was never really a seed problem. The best seed choice matches the site, the climate, and the existing lawn. Read the label for the actual grass species, not just the marketing name on the front. If the seed cannot pass the interview, do not hire it for that patch. Sometimes the seed does sprout, and that is the clue. If you see a faint green fuzz for a week or two, then it thins, yellows, or disappears, The problem may be the spot killing seedlings after germination. Start with compaction. In a compacted patch, soil particles are pressed so tightly together that there is less pore space for air and water. Rain or irrigation may run off, puddle, or sit near the surface, while young roots struggle to push down. Seedlings need oxygen in the root zone, steady moisture, and room to anchor. Without those, they can emerge and still fail. You can do a quick check with a screwdriver or soil probe. If it slides easily into healthy lawn but stops hard in the bare area, compaction is likely part of the problem. Core aeration, loosening the top layer before seeding, and keeping heavy traffic off the repair area can make that patch more survivable. Shade can create a different kind of seedling death. Under mature trees, the ground may be cool, dim, and dry at the same time. Even shade-tolerant grass still needs enough light to manufacture food, and tree roots are pulling moisture and nutrients from the same soil. In heavy shade, the better fix may be mulch, ground cover, or a planted bed, because conventional turf may be the wrong plant for that location. Dog urine injury is another common bare spot trap. The damaged area often looks brown or dead in the center, sometimes with a darker green ring around the edge where the urine was diluted enough to act like fertilizer. If you catch it right away, soaking the spot with water can reduce injury. Once the grass is dead, reseeding without flushing and improving the soil leaves new seedlings in a harsh little zone. Then check for pests and disease, but do not jump straight to panic spraying. Grubs, chinch bugs, fungal disease, or other problems can thin a patch, especially when seedlings are already stressed. Look for patterns, tug gently on dead grass, and inspect the soil surface and roots. If you suspect an insect or disease issue, take photos, note the season and symptoms, and use your local extension service for confirmation. The goal is not to treat every bare spot with chemicals. The goal is to identify the site problem first, then make the repair match what is actually killing the grass. Before you buy another bag of seed, treat that bare spot like a lawn crime scene. The dead grass is evidence, and if you cover it up too fast, you may miss the thing that keeps killing every new attempt. Start with the roots. Grab a handful of dead or weak turf at the edge of the bare spot and tug upward. If the sod peels back like loose carpet, white grubs may have chewed off enough roots that the grass is no longer anchored. That does not mean you automatically treat the whole lawn. Dig a few small soil plugs, look for the actual grubs, count what you find, and compare it with your local extension threshold for your turf and region. Disease can leave a different trail. Brown patch often shows up during warm, humid weather when grass blades stay wet for too long, especially on susceptible cool season lawns like tall fescue and perennial ryegrass. The patch may expand in irregular circles, and the leaves may look water-soaked, tan, or smoked along the edges. If the weather pattern and symptoms match, send photos or a sample to your local university extension before deciding on any fungicide. Irrigation problems are another repeat offender. Put several straight-sided cans around the repair area and run the sprinklers. If one can is nearly dry while another is full, your seed is not getting even moisture. Watch the sprinkler heads too. A head blocked by tall grass, tilted into the soil, or spraying the sidewalk can create a dry, dead zone that looks like a seed failure. Then connect the clues. Cans show water coverage, soil plugs show roots, insects, thatch, and compaction. Leaf symptoms point toward disease. Sprinkler heads reveal mechanical problems. Once you know which clue matters, the repair becomes specific. Adjust water, fix coverage, confirm pests, manage disease timing, or improve the soil before seeding. Grass seed works only when the site lets young roots survive. Solve the cause first, and reseeding becomes a repair instead of a ritual. Now qualify the spot before you choose the repair. Start with the grass you already have, because the wrong repair can fail even when the prep is perfect. Cool season lawns like tall fescue, Kentucky bluegrass, and perennial ryegrass are usually seeded in early fall or sometimes spring. Warm season lawns like Bermuda grass, Zoysia grass, and St. Augustine behave differently, and many of them repair better with plugs, sprigs, or sod than with a random bag of seed. Next, check the calendar and the chemistry. If you put down a crabgrass preventer or other pre-emergent recently, read the label before seeding. Many pre-emergents are designed to stop seeds from sprouting, and they do not care whether that seed is crabgrass or the grass you paid for. Some products have a reseeding waiting period, and others require a specific starter fertilizer with a seeding-safe ingredient. Then decide what the bare spot is asking for. If it is a small sunny patch in a cool season lawn, matching seed may be the easiest fix. If it is a warm season lawn with spreading grasses, plugs or sod may blend faster. If the spot is under dense shade beside a dog run, near a downspout, or in a footpath, grass may be the wrong plant. Mulch, stepping stones, ground cover, or a widened bed can solve a problem seed keeps losing. Once the repair type is chosen, prepare only as aggressively as the site needs. Remove dead material, leaves, stones, and matted thatch from the surface. Scratch or loosen the top layer of compacted soil so new roots can enter it. Do not bury seed deep. Most lawn seed needs firm contact with loosened soil near the surface, then a light cover if the label calls for it. Choose seed for the actual conditions, not the front of the package. Match your region, sun level, traffic, and existing lawn texture as closely as possible. A shade mix belongs in partial shade, not full darkness. A high traffic area needs tougher varieties, not the cheapest blend. Water by growth stage. During germination, keep the surface consistently moist with light, frequent watering. After the seedlings are up and have been mowed a few times, shift gradually toward deeper, less frequent watering so roots chase moisture downward. In the next minute, we will turn this into a simple decision tree. Seed, plugs, sod, or stop fighting the spot altogether. Before you buy one more seed bag, test one bare spot. Scratch the surface open, check whether the soil is loose and moist, look for living roots, identify the grass around it, and decide if that location actually qualifies for seed. Most failures trace back to one cause: poor soil contact, uneven moisture, wrong timing, washed away seed, mismatched grass, or a site problem like shade, pets, compaction, or runoff. If the answer is unclear, use your local university extension guidance for timing, grass type, and diagnosis in your region. Thanks for watching. Write a comment with what your bare spot looks like and subscribe for the next lawn repair guide.